objective truth, normative truth, and subjective truth. What if I told you that in reality they all are the same? Might sound, mine's it, it might seem crazy because they all have different definitions. Objective truth supposed to be, truth that's undeniable. Normative truth is truth based on generalities, and subjective truth is based on your emotions and on your own personal take. I believe every truth is actually subjective. You might think I'm crazy for saying such a thing. Like, how can every truth be subjective? Like, 2 plus 2 is always 4, no? Well, you could say that, but it goes along to your own subjective, actually. Because I can say just whatever the fuck I want. Because numbers are a creation. They aren't actual truth. It's something man-made. You can go according to statistics to prove a point and assess that it is a truth. But even then, this truth is subjective. In my opinion, truth is always and will always be subjective. It might be a contradiction because, in of itself, saying that objective truth is always subjective means that there is an objective truth. But it goes back to it being subjective. Why do I say that? Huh? Because actually I'm thinking this from Plato, anyways, an old Greek philosopher. Who fucking cares? He's dead. He's way gone. He's way far his age. So why am I even thinking of this? Well, a lot of people see objective truth as undeniable truth. But I deny it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, a lot, a hefty chunk of people disagree with it. So it can't be objective truth. Like vaccines save people, they help, but you also see cases of people dying from said vaccines. Am I saying that all vaccines are bad or they're objectively, wrong? No. I'm just saying every truth is actually subjective. Everything stems from your environment, your education, your parenting, where you grew up, the kind of people you hung around, what you consume. It's often said that there is no such thing as a truth that's black or white. It's always shades of gray. And if it's shades, that means there's multiple layers. There could be this answer that's light gray or dark gray. But you just can't put a finger on it. It's like saying communism is good, but it's actually only good on paper. When you put it into application, it's actually terrible. But same goes for capitalism. On paper it sounds pretty good. You get rewarded for the time the time investment you put into things, what you bring to this world. But not everyone can bring the same amount of effort. So you could say being leaning left or leaning right is better, but it still goes along being subjective. It's about who you are and what you see around you. Like, most people would say, oh, free healthcare is good, it helps people. But in my own opinion, it's not good. It can be good. I'm not saying there isn't good points about it, but there's plenty of bad points about it. The number of times I had to wait like 10 plus hours just to get, a 5 minute checkup to get told, oh, you'll just have to wait for the next few weeks. No, no, you don't need, any help. When was a 5 minute thing? Imagine waiting 20 hours to only get checked up for 5 minutes and be told, yeah, you'll just have to wait. Like, nigga, I've just been waiting for fucking hours to get told I have to wait? Again? Jesus. At this point, I'd rather just pay, $100 to get checked up, and, maybe it takes an hour, but I save like 19 hours. Damn worth it. That's an investment. But it helps people in need. Because in a system like this, they only care about emergencies or emergency. You get my point. Emergency. For fuck's sake, man. I don't know my pronunciation. But I can pronounce that. Makes sense. But yeah, I've been thinking about this because my sister the other day had an argument with my father about uh, this case of alleged rape. I say alleged because, in my opinion, it's not rape. On paper, it is, but when you have context, it isn't. Sometimes you just have to say no. In my personal experience, sometimes, I didn't, ask or get asked for consentment, and, things just happened. I didn't say no, I didn't say yes, and sometimes I said no, and I regretted it. I mean, yeah, I regretted it at this moment or, the day after. Like, it was just one time, I was with my girlfriend, and, we were laying on the bed, and, pretty suddenly I just felt super sick. And I just didn't want to move. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to hear a thing. I was just nauseous, feeling very bad. And she asked if I wanted to do it, and I said no. And she kept pushing me like, "Oh, why do you not want to do it? You always wanna." And it's just like, I mean, I'm just feeling terrible. I can't. Even if I would, I'd probably be puking mid-session. That's not worth it. That'd be disgusting. But I said no, and what I said was respected. Even though we've at that point been in a relationship for like 9 months. So I'd say she didn't even need my consent. But the first time we fucked together, I mean, I didn't even have to say anything. She just hopped on. No warning, no nothing. And am I considering this rape? Well, no. On paper it is, because there was no consent. She just, fucked me without asking me for it. But thing is I was just waiting for it. I waited a few months. At that point, we'd been in a relationship for like 5 to 6 months or something, maybe less. I don't really remember, but she knew I was ready. She was the one that wasn't ready, and she just hopped on. No warning. I didn't say shit. I was just flabbergasted. Or flabbergasted. I was fucking gaslit, bro, just in the bed, man. Whoa! My eyes rolling back, man, not knowing what the fuck is going on. But yeah, on paper, that was rape. I could have sued, but it wasn't. You know, because there was context to it. So, the story that my sister and my dad were arguing about is there's these two people, they hooked up one night and they fucked twice the same night. They both slept in the same bed. She was naked and she pretty much woke up to him fucking her again. You know, she sued him for rape, and I'd say on paper it is rape. But with context, they fucked twice like a few hours ago. Not even a full day cycle, or not even 12 hours later. But he still got sued. He's losing the case. He's getting atomized. He's not gonna be able to find work or go to school again for a long ass time. For something she didn't even say no. She didn't even dress up. I mean, that's why I'm saying truth is subjective. Because in my eyes, in that scenario, this isn't rape. It's not. Because if she didn't want to at that point, she could have, put some panties on or, something. But no, they both slept in the same bed, butt naked. And she didn't expect anything to happen. To me, that's crazy. And my father takes my side. I mean, he's on the same page with me. He says this isn't rape. All the coworkers at my job say it's not rape. They literally think the same thing. They said, I mean, she could have dressed up. She could have said no, but she didn't do none of that. Then you go to my father's job, and everyone that's pretty much my age is like, no, that's rape. Siding with my sister, and I just don't get it. When my sister was, reaching for people who agree with her, she asked for my two younger brothers. One is 14, the other is 15. And I have in mind that my sister and my two brothers have never, ever been in a relationship. They never got into one. Literally zero experience. That's why I don't believe in objective truth. Because how can you see truth as objective, black and white, when you have zero experience around it? You don't understand the context. You've never been put into this situation. And you act as if you knew. And there's a bunch of times my ex-girlfriend where I was like, I didn't ask, and we just fucked, and after the relationship ended, I felt bad. After all of the consentment wave and Me Too movement, I just felt like I did something bad. But when I told her that I was sorry and everything, she just went, that was unnecessary. You know, that was fully consensual. And I was bummed out. Because I was in this mindset that truth is black and white. That what I did was wrong. But on paper, it is wrong. It is. I'm not gonna say on paper it's actually pretty moral and ethical, but no. On paper, it just seems bad. But when you have experience, you have context, you understand the situation, I mean, you can just guess it. It's only now that I can truly grasp why excusing myself was actually stupid. because there were just so many clues to say that, you know? And it's not like when I was with my girlfriend, we'd always be like butt naked in the same bed. No, we'd put some, underwears on or something. Or, she'd put some pajamas on. And if she'd put that, I wouldn't, try to fuck her or something, before she wakes up. Even though I always, go to sleep after. Or, I mean, back then. But, there's also this guy at my job that thinks he, they talk a lot that I've spoken of in a few of my videos. I mean, he always seems like he knows truth. The way he speaks about Tarkov and how much better, Ant-Man Showdown is in comparison, but I have to disagree. I prefer Tarkov because it's more well suited for me. I just prefer it. I and with the same guy, okay? We both fucking love Fallout 2, but we have both very different opinions on the game. He thinks you can just play the game once and then you change the game. Because if you replay it, you'll do the same exact thing because it's optimal. And you'll do it even better. But I just can't look at Fallout 2 or Fallout 1 and just think I'm just gonna do one game. I think that would ruin the entire experience. In my own eyes, you have to play it multiple times. At least 4 times to fully grasp what the game really is and understand every facet of it. Because when you play Fallout 2, you can be a slave master, you can ally with a bunch of groups, destroy some places, be very evil, very good, or in between. There's some companions that don't work well together. Stat points really matter. Like on my first game, I went charisma all the way up so I can have as many companions. I fucking run through dialogues and so that the game is kind of challenging in a way. But my second run, my charisma was pretty fucking low, like 4 or 2, because I just knew pretty much that I had a grasp of the game now. I don't need companions. I need, one that's reliable, and that's really it. I don't need fucking 5 companions to be able to finish the game. No, now I can play on hard difficulty with only one companion. Because now it's going to be, the same way as the first playthrough. I'm going to have to figure ways to be more efficient and with an entire different play style. Because on the first one, I'd go unarmed. I'd have the fucking... I was Iron Man with my fist, boy. I was unstoppable. But on my second run, I just avoided unarmed. I didn't want to use it. There's this quest where you have to be pretty good at being unarmed, but I'd use, drugs to be stronger and be more efficient with it. Simple as that. There's always a way to work around it, and on my first run, I never used drugs. So now I had to juggle with the negative effects, the positives, and it was just a totally different way of playing the game. On my first run, I'd just be okay. I should stop talking about Fallout 2. I just fucking love that game. Sorry, guys. I'll have to make a video all around that game. But yeah, we just disagree. Me and the guy that always knows truth. We just disagree on many points, but like similar games. Like, I love Tarkov because it's very difficult. You always have to invest in a good kit. You need to find the right ammo and use it efficiently. Like, you can't use flesh ammo to penetrate armor or helmets. You use it for legs or arms. Opposite goes for, you know, um, armor piercing bullets. You aim for the chest or the head. There's very different gun builds. The accessories are very realistic. The healing is super weird. There's painkillers. You got heal each slam. You got heal fucking bleedings when you break an arm or something. When your limb is dead, you have to revive it. Like, there's so many things about the game, and he doesn't like it because you can't play melee. Like, I'll be real. If you bring a knife to a gunfight, your chances are pretty fucking low. But I've seen people do raids with knife only. It's possible. It's very unlikely. You don't bring a fucking knife to a gunfight. That's just common sense. Knives are better for close encounters, as Leon would say, but Tarkov isn't a game about only close encounters. You're not gonna use a fucking knife against a sniper. But that's what he likes about Ant-Man Showdown. It's simple. The guns are shit. So melee is pretty good. It's pretty much a battle royale. So if you exit, you don't get as much reward. Tarkov isn't lean on killing everyone. It's just about escaping and surviving. And escape from Tarkov. But we just don't play the games the same way. He plays a game once and he's done. I play it many times differently because I enjoy it. So truth isn't fully objective ever. Because even when I say, oh, Tarkov is very realistic, it's actually unrealistic in many ways. Like, just putting on a good kit makes your character so heavy that it makes it unrealistic. How would a trained fighter, a marine fighter, be unable to have his loadout and run for more than 10 seconds? How is that even a thing? You should be able to run for at least 2 fucking minutes straight. Like, are you kidding me? I can run for 26 minutes straight non-stop, no breaks, and I'm not even trained for that. I do it myself. But that's why you have to be subjective. You have to understand your own subjectivity. You have to understand your flaws in your own beliefs. Because even if that part of the game is unrealistic, I actually kind of like it because it's more challenging. I like challenging games. Tarkov isn't easy. I wrote this idea down that, another objective truth that isn't real is cigarettes kill. How many people do I actually know who've died from cigarettes? Oh, well, hello there. None. Yeah, maybe some people die from it, get very bad sickness, but in my own perspective, these cases are extremely rare. And that goes back to normative truth. Normative truth is based on generalities. And on general, I don't see people even getting cancer or dying from cigarettes. Is it worth taking the chance? No. I wouldn't say it's worth taking the chance, but that's why you have to understand your own subjective truth. Because every truth is actually subjective. Because every truth that is objective isn't actually man-made. That's why you gotta think that 2 plus 2 equal 4 is both subjective and objective. Why? Because it's the idea behind 2 plus 2 equal 4. It's not the actual numbers. It might be hard to grasp, but you have to detach yourself from the idea of alphabetical and numerical. And all the in between special characters. Or just characters overall. Because they are man made. It's like just two bananas together make, one banana, you add another banana, it's two bananas. But you don't actually need a to put a number on it to be able to understand it. That's why the truth on paper is actually subjective. Because you don't need to assess this if you already know it. It's like something you just know deep down. Like I have 3 plates laying there, just sitting there, not doing shit. Like, did I have to count 1, 2, 3? No, it's 3. It's automatic. Like, I have a glass right there. So, even objective truth is kind of subjective. It's weird. Possibility and probability are almost the same thing. Like, it's possible that I could die from drinking too much water, but is it probable? The probability is low, and the possibility also is. Why? Because at some point, I won't even want to drink water. I'll just be like, why the fuck am I even why should I even keep on going? I'm good. Like, the only margin of possibility that I could, over drink water is that I'd be so fucking high that I don't even feel it. There's something that's altering my body, or, naturally I don't feel anything. So I just cannot know. Another objective truth, but that's actually subjective. It's that, wood burns, okay? It's, what you use to make fires, but wet wood doesn't burn. But actually it does. But it just takes a lot more time. And it just takes a higher temperature to do it. If it even does burn. Because, let's take gold. It's only based on density of matter. Like gold. Did you ever see gold burn? No. You see it melt or maybe evaporate. But in of itself it's burning. Just that it requires such high temperature that you don't see it often. It's probable. And it's possible. But is it likely probable? Or likely possible? It is possible in our modern day and age, but you get the point. No, it's the same goes for wet wood and, not wet wood. Wood is a good conductor. But wet wood surely is, because water conducts electricity really well. But why so? Probably just goes right along with density. The more something is dense, the higher the conductivity. Goes right back to gold. Gold is highly dense, so it conducts. It's just an assessment that I just made. I might not even be linked, electricity and density, but it could. I don't know. That's why I have to know that it's not because 2 and 2 work together that, oh, suddenly it's objective truth. Because it's actually subjective. Because wood, that's dry, actually conducts electricity. Just not very efficiently. But wet wood conducts it better. But would you use wet wood to conduct electricity? Hell no. Maybe you think, with all these assessments, what I said was pretty fucking retarded, and I'm not gonna deny it. It's really pulled out of my ass. I just thought about it today or yesterday, and I just wanted to make a video about it. And I just made, some light research about what is objective truth, subjective, and normative. But the only truth that makes sense is the one that makes the least sense, normative truth. Because it's based on generalities, but yeah, you can base your rules on general, but it outlines the uncommon. And you shouldn't ever outline the uncommon. Why? Because that goes against communism. And what kind of society are most people leaning onto is socialism. So you have to accept everyone. Is it right? Wrong? Oh, fine. No. You tell me.